hopefully this is where I left it off last time because I honestly don't remember. It's been 3 days to be fair, of course I don't remember. Okay. There are no new requests when I log into Corpse Girl's website this evening. I'm strangely okay with that. There's something I want to do more before more requests come through anyway. I'm going to make some updates to the website, a few improvements that will considerably ease the workload placed upon Corpse Girl, Kojiro, and Tomoe. In the website's admin settings, I added a couple of extra data fields to the front page. Instead of just asking for a photo and a phone number, the website now requires a victim's address to be provided. This will ensure we can successfully deliver a corpse for every request. In addition, the site now asks for the victim's name. I've always been hesitant about requesting this specific detail. I never wanted to know the names of people Corpse Girl will kill. It creates familiarity, and I always used to worry that it would prevent me from going through with a request. But more than all of that, I feared that I would delve too deep into somebody's life. I feared I would become too attached, too entranced by standing on the outside looking in. Knowing someone's name would have allowed me to easily find victims online and go down the rabbit hole of spying on their private lives. My voyeuristic fetishes would have defeated me. I know myself, and I know that I would have become far too interested in a person to carry out their death. It's the same reason why I never reverse image searched a victim's photo before yesterday. Now that things are escalating, now that Corpse Girl needs a victim's address to ensure a kill, I have to get past all of that. I have to be strong for Corpse Girl. I'm somewhat relieved that the timing is suitable. After all, I haven't been as aroused as usual when stalking people online. I don't know if my libido is just low or if I have truly become uninterested in such things. Either way, I believe I am able to cope with the burden of extra knowledge. Learning victims' names, addresses, all of that, it's going to work in Corpse Girl's favor. And I'm surely strong enough now to not give in to temptation and succumb to the scopophilia that has plagued my existence for years. After adding the victim's name and address fields to the website, I decide to add one final touch. There's a particular line of text that describes how the site works. I've always liked it. It says your victim will receive a photo of their own corpse shortly before they die. It's concise and it perfectly sums up the intention of the website. However, it needs to be updated to correctly apply to Corpse Girl's new modus operandi. I changed the line ever so slightly, just enough to make a difference. It now reads, your victim will receive their own corpse shortly before they die. Some people might think it doesn't make sense. They'll think that maybe it's a typo or written by someone not familiar with the language. But it is completely intentional. Now that I've made all the changes to the website, I click the Save button in the admin panel. The changes are reflected immediately on the front page of the site. Corpse Girl's new and improved request form is online. With that done, I need to simply sit back and wait for some new requests to pour in, and it shouldn't take long once I put my next plan into motion. Because I finally figured out how my sister can be of use to me after all these years. She's going to help me become famous. Yuriko Kurosawa's death will ensure that everybody in Japan knows the name Corpse Girl. Okay. For the first time in a while, my fingers scrape against the bottom of the cabinet drawer.
Oh shit.
Oh, no more burner phones? I fumble around and grab the last remaining burner phone in the drawer. It's a fairly modern handset from around 3 years ago. These newer models never retain their battery charge for more than a month or so when they've been inactive. Thankfully, it uses a generic charger, so I quickly plug it into the kitchen outlet and wait for it to return to life. I glance back down at the open drawer. It's completely empty now. I'm going to need to restock my supply of burners if I hope to continue with Corpse Girl's work. I nervously bite my fingernails at the thought. Getting these phones isn't easy. It's free, yes, but not easy. And if I get busted trying to lift a stack of them, that might very well be the end of me. I'll have to obtain as many new phones as possible at some point today. Once Corpse Girl kills my sister, my website is going to explode with new requests. I need to be as prepared as possible. I decide to finish getting ready for work while the burner charges. As much as I'd like to simply skip out and deal with my sister, I do need to pop into the office. Missing too many days is going to lead to getting fired, and that might compromise my mission. I take my medication, I apply my makeup, I pack my handbag. It's also mundane, but it's also necessary. Each day is the same routine. There's comfort to be found in that, especially for someone like me, but sometimes I remember the excitement of finding myself in new situations, even if those situations end up with me lying in the muck of a bathroom floor or against the stone-cold tiles of a morgue. When I'm ready to leave the apartment, I snatch the burner phone and check the battery. It's at around 40%. That should be plenty. I stash it in my handbag so it's ready for action when the time comes. I'm out the door at the same time as every other day. I find myself alone in the office well after the working day has ended. The entire floor is empty and silent. I shut down my computer and stretch my tense arms. I don't normally like staying back late, but sometimes it's necessary to get work done. And when I say work, I am of course referring to Corpse Girl's tasks. When I'm absolutely certain that everybody has gone home, I get out of my chair and wander listlessly around the office. It's kind of nice having the place to myself. It's like my apartment, only bigger and colder and without that terrible odor of mold that permeates the walls. They keep mentioning the weird odor of mole, and it just makes me think, do you have a body somewhere? Like, I don't know. Not that a body necessarily would smell of mold, but you know what I mean? Like, just a bad smell that she could chalk up to mold. I noticed that quite a few people tend to leave their belongings at their desks. Nothing too valuable, the occasional coat, hat, or pair of headphones. Should somebody of low moral character wish to steal them, there would be nothing stopping them. I'm personally not interested in any of that. I walk to the other side of the office floor and reach the seniors' cubicles. Even the seniors leave important things lying around. There's a gift bag with a cake shop logo on the front, a company credit card, and a few personal bank statements. But the contents of their desk drawers are where the real gold is found. As I rifle through one drawer in particular, I find exactly what I'm looking for. It's an old Noise brand phone, a few models earlier than my own. It slips into my handbag right alongside the burner phone I brought from home. I close the desk drawer gently and traipse into the next cubicle. The top door here contains a flip phone, a familiar classic. It'll serve me well. Into the handbag it goes. One of the main problems I have with this company, with any company in fact, is the wasteful attitude of management. Executives, seniors, and even some junior staff are provided with company phones. Basically, if you're expected to make calls on the job, the company will issue you a phone so that you don't have to use your own. However, with the rapid evolution of modern technology, phones often find themselves replaced or upgraded well before they cease functioning, and management doesn't care about recycling or repurposing unused, obsolete phones. The devices simply drift to the bottom of drawers or storage cabinets, destined to become forgotten within moments. Am I really doing the wrong thing by taking these phones off the company's hands? It's not like I'm stealing personal property from employees. I'm only taking what the company is likely to write off as a business expense, and this is a multi-billion yen company. Are they really going to miss the odd outdated device? I justified this to myself long ago. I'm ensuring these phones are used for a bigger purpose, and there's nothing bigger than fulfilling Corpse Girl's ambitions. As I swipe the fourth or fifth phone, I hear the ding of the elevator from across the office floor.
Shit.
Someone's here. I need to get away from the cubicles without being seen.
Noriko, is that you?
I must have ducked down a second too late because the voice identified me correctly. I scuttle forward on my knees just a little bit so that I'm not so close to the cubicles. When I get to my feet, I'm halfway between the senior employees area and the juniors' open plan desks.
Shinya?
Shinya walks over from the elevator to greet me.
Hi. You're here awfully late. What were you doing over there? That is, if you don't mind me asking.
Oh, I lent my USB drive to one of the seniors earlier and they didn't return it, so...
Oh, did you find it?
Nope. Oh well. I'll ask about it tomorrow.
I could help you look if you like.
Seriously, it's okay. I'm about to head home anyway. What are you doing here?
I left my wallet at my desk. Can you believe it?
Yes.
Luckily, I remembered before I took Tomoe out for dinner. I would have appeared to be quite the buffoon if I'd been unable to pay for our meal.
Yeah, I suppose so. Hey, how are things anyway?
Things with Tomoe are great. We are truly in love.
Wow, okay, not exactly what I meant, but how are things here? I mean, what happened with Kotomi and...
That whole kerfuffle. Can you believe Miss Ida is dead now? Is it wrong of me to say that I'm happy she's dead?
I need to sneeze. Okay.
Is that an awful thing to admit?
I gently shake my head, but I don't interrupt his train of thought.
It's so bizarre. Especially considering our relationship and how determined she was to end my career.
It bothers me that Shinya is still referring to the conflict between himself and Kotomi as a relationship.
But it would seem that she was the only one with animosity toward me. As such, the other executives said I'm welcome to work here as long as I like. In fact, they were even generous enough to give me a small salary raise.
Wow! That's great, Shinya. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you. It truly was a struggle there for a little while.
Before my brain can even register what I'm saying, the following words tumble out of my mouth.
Do you want to talk about it?
Noriko, I know that I haven't been as open with you as I should have been. Maybe talking about it will help me put the whole thing behind me.
I bite my tongue as I try to think of a way to back out of the situation.
Oh, you know, if you're uncomfortable talking to me, maybe Tomoe can help?
My objection is met with a smile. Looks like I'm in too deep now.
Tomoe means well. She really does. But whenever I bring up the subject, she becomes visibly angry. Many a death threat against Miss Ida has been made aloud. I wouldn't be all too surprised if Tomoe was the one who killed her. There certainly is a motive there, after all.
So you don't know who killed Kotomi?
I don't even think the police know that much. Father showed me the photos of the crime scene. Chances are that whoever did kill her was also killed in return. Though, as abusive as she was toward me, I never took her as the type to instigate a mass murder. She was an angry person, yes, but that seemed to stem from a lack of fulfillment. That's what I assume, anyway. And I think that's the reason she made her advances on me.
Shinya, I really am sorry. I'm so sorry that you had to go through such a traumatic experience.
I thought I was going to lose everything. My job, my relationship. Miss Ida threatened to steal it all away from me. Just so she could experience some form of power, some small manner of pleasure. Why do people do those things, Noriko? What joy is there even to be found in...
I take my time to consider my reply. I'm probably not the best person for him to be having this discussion with, but all things considered, it does seem to be helping him come to terms with things.
Shinya, what you went through with Kotomi, what she did to you, that's not what it's about. She never had the right to put you through that. I hope that one day, when you're comfortable and feeling healthy, I hope that you can make some good memories with Tomoe.
Yes. I hope so. Thank you, Noriko.
Don't mention it.
I don't know if my words were the right ones. What right do I have to talk about what he went through? I can only hope that I managed to bring him some sort of comfort.
Well, I better grab my wallet and get going. Don't want to keep Tomoe waiting. Say, would you like to join us, Noriko? Are you hungry at all?
Oh, I don't want to intrude on your romantic evening.
It's no trouble, really.
Maybe next time. I have some things I need to do tonight.
Okay, no problem. Well, see you later.
Shinya takes off towards his desk. I breathe a sigh of relief as I hoist my handbag up from the ground, feeling the reassuring weight of my newly acquired burner phones. I enter the elevator and give a polite wave to Shinya as the doors close.
Give me a call back when you leave the restaurant.
You want me to drive tonight?
It has to be tonight. We talked about this.
But
Please. Kojiro's on standby as well.
fine. Not like I've been dying to bring Shinya back to my place or nothing.
Don't push Shinya. Let him tell you when he's ready.
Yeah, I know. Look, I'll probably be out of the restaurant in an hour. That cool?
Yes. Thanks.
Bye!
Tomoe hangs up. I look down the street, my gaze aiming directly at the restaurant Tomoe is currently seated at with Shinya. I'll need to kill an hour around here, but what is there to do? I'm not exactly keen on the idea of window shopping. I don't even want to be here, but standing in one spot as dozens of people walk by is really nerve-wracking. I could go visit Aoi at the maid cafe, but then I'd have to pay the table charge to enter, and it'd probably be pretty weird to be served by girls in maid costumes. Not really my thing. As I glance around, I notice a 24-hour manga cafe at the end of the street. That could actually be perfect. I could rent a quiet space for a few hundred yen and just read a book until it's time to go. No one there to bother me. In fact, the only person I'd need to speak to is the attendant at the counter. With my mind made up, I hurry along to the manga cafe.
Pretty late.
Come on, you're a night owl. What are you complaining about?
Just making chit-chat.
Then shut up.
Well, instead of talking, how about you hold that flashlight still? I can't see what I'm doing with you waving it around.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm nearly done anyway. Fucking Yuriko. This wouldn't be so difficult if she didn't have different haircuts in every single photo on her profile. I'm just going to have to estimate the length of her hair for now.
The corpse on the table in front of me looks like an uncanny clone of my sister. How coincidental. I snip away a little more hair from her fringe and then put the scissors aside.
You must be close.
The opposite.
Makeup's done!
Thanks. Looks good.
Tomoe beams as she puts the cap back on the lipstick in her hand.
I think we're done. Can you zip up the bag? I really need to wash my hands.
You got it, boss.
I step away from the corpse and plunge my hands into the ice-cold bucket of water on the factory floor. I have to admit that we've become pretty good at this whole thing. I don't even know where the word friends came from. At this whole thing. In just a week or so, we've managed to refine our art and synchronize our duties.
Okay. Load her in the van. I'm going to send the corpse photo now.
You sure about this? You think she's gonna be awake this time of night?
I'm positive. This is the best time to do it.
According to her noise feed, Yuriko Kurosawa is currently attending a massive party. I'm sure the venue will be packed to the brim with her scumbag friends. She's been posting about it for days. It wasn't hard for me to find out all the information I needed, since whoever organised the party posted it as a public event. Yuriko is about to receive a photo of her own corpse, and in less than an hour's time, she's going to receive her carbon copy corpse in a body bag in front of at least 100 people. The mass panic that will break out is sure to be hilarious. I don't want to miss it, and I don't want to miss my sister's final moments. Maybe she'll kill herself in front of her closest friends, or maybe the terror will slowly eat away at her and she'll go home first before deciding she just can't take it anymore. I'm happy with either result. She's finally going to get what she deserves. I hate her so much. She's a low-life degenerate, a delinquent, the utter scum of the earth. And she never calls me. I doubt she remembers I exist.
Ready to go?
I snap out of my thoughts and look at the phone that I've been subconsciously holding in my feeble grip. It's the burner I picked up from home earlier this morning. Yoriko's corpse photo is glowing on the screen, ready to be launched into the network. I hit send.
Okay.
Kojiro nods and hauls the zipped-up body bag onto his shoulder. The weight of the cadaver inside causes him to stumble a little, but he regains his balance and shuffles toward the factory entrance. I examine the body bag as Kojiro carries it. It's the same white HRP that we picked up from the morgue, but I've made a rather nice adjustment to it. Big bold letters are scrawled along the sides in purple and black permanent marker. It says, "With love from Corpse Girl." Underneath the massive letters in smaller script is Corpse Girl's website address. A scribble of a cute anime girl decorates the other side of the bag. It's the very same character that dances animatedly on Corpse Girl's website. Tomoe told me this was a bold move. Kojiro didn't seem to care. Yuriko Kurosawa is about to be publicly executed. Tonight is the night that Corpse Girl becomes known to the world. If everything goes well, that is. This is the quietest house party I have ever witnessed. I only managed to catch a glimpse of it before Kojiro shields my eyes with his ice-cold hand. I want to object to him censoring my vision, but the smell of blood causes me to slump against his shoulder and I resort to whimpering quietly as he places me gently on the ground. The vision of the house party from hell is still vivid behind my closed eyelids. It's not like I've been to many house parties in my life. In fact, when I really think about it, I don't think I've ever been to a single one before this moment. But I've seen them on television, I've seen them in movies. They're always loud, music is blasting, people are dancing, drinking, making out. The scene I witnessed doesn't look like any of that. I'm pretty sure dead bodies don't line the floor at regular house parties. I'm pretty sure trails of blood aren't on the guest list. This party is weird. The walls are slashed, there's broken glass everywhere, specks of blood are dotted across the furniture. Someone in the next room is sobbing quietly, someone above, perhaps inside the ceiling, is groaning. Kojiro is sitting next to me now. I can imagine a bored expression hovering over his features. He still has his hand over my eyes. He taps the fingers of his other hand against the body bag beside him. His digits drum out a rhythmic beat upon Yuriko Kurosawa's clone, still zipped up and sealed inside her temporary coffin. I think Tomoe is still in the van. She said something about not wanting to get messed up. I never planned on entering this party, but Kojiro dragged the body inside, then returned shortly after and told me I should come take a look. So here I am. Here I am, blinded by Kojiro's misguided attempt to protect me from the carnage I willingly unleashed. I asked him if he killed all the people here. He said no. I suppose I believe him. I managed to squint through a gap in Kojiro's fingers momentarily. The blurred shapes of 4 or 5 bodies are on the floor in front of us. There's a stray arm lying limply on a chair that's currently unaccounted for. Kojiro presses down firmly against my face and my vision darkens once more. I hear his voice and imagine his calm demeanor in my mind.
Thoughts?
Don't know.
I haven't managed to sort my head out
Your
just yet.
sister's over there. Well, a corpse that looks like her, at any rate.
Give me a second.
Okay.
Kojiro releases his grip from my face. I stand. I tiptoe forward, stumbling thanks to my still blurry eyes. I can make out the shape of a sofa close to the wall, and I approach it carefully. The empty gap between the sofa and the wall is a 3-foot wide space. I'm not sure why the owner of this house doesn't keep the sofa directly against the wall. The empty space here seems kind of useless. Maybe if the sofa is all the way against the wall, it becomes too far from the TV. That's a possibility. I would personally just get a bigger TV so that the sofa can be kept comfortably flush with the wall. The gap here really annoys me. It's making me irritated. I want to push the sofa back myself, but I know I don't have the strength. It's a massive thing, bigger than I am, and maybe even bigger than Corpse Girl. Even if I was strong enough to move it, there's still the issue of my sister lying there between the sofa and the wall. She's in the way. I'd have to move her first, and the thought of touching her is absolutely disgusting. Even when she was still alive, I never wanted to touch her. She's a foul excuse for a human being.
Hey, Yuriko. Long time no see.
She doesn't respond.
You don't look so hot. Guess I'm prettier now, huh? Why do you never call me? Whatever. I wouldn't answer the phone anyway.
She doesn't say anything. The sound of someone grunting behind me doesn't interrupt my concentration. I assume it's just Kojiro clearing his throat.
Have you seen Mother lately? I haven't heard from her in a while. I'm sure she's fine. Are you still on parole? I heard you were working at a clothing store. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm working for Temujin at the moment.
Yuriko nods.
It's okay. There are worse jobs, I'm sure. How did you get that cut across your throat? Does it hurt?
I reach forward and slip my fingers into Yuriko's gashed throat. When I remove them, I frown at the red blood dripping down into the gaps between my knuckles.
That's disgusting. Remember when you bandaged me up after I busted my knee? You said Mother would be mad if she found out that you hurt me. So you tried your best to fix me up before she got home. She found out, though. I think she's going to find out about this, too. There's no way you can keep this from her, Yu.
Yuriko smiles gently. I wipe the blood onto my skirt.
Oh? Him? That's Kojiro. He's a friend. No, there's nothing between us.
I hear the grunt from behind once more.
I know. You're actually nicer than I remember. Why couldn't you ever be this nice when we were kids? If you'd been this nice to me, then maybe I wouldn't have spent my entire teenage life wishing you would drop dead. Oh, I guess my wishes came true after all.
Yuriko laughs along with me. It doesn't sound like the laugh I remember. It's more like a gurgle, like she has something caught in her throat. A trickle of blood pours from between her lips and she coughs.
Oh, do you need a tissue? Here.
I unzip my handbag and retrieve a tissue, then hand it to Yuriko. She tilts her head and sprays the rest of the blood from her mouth.
Fuck you, Noriko. Okay. I gotta go. Say hi to Father for me, okay?
I leave Yuriko behind. How much of that was in her head? All of it? After making my way out of the cursed house, I find Kojiro waiting by the van. Tomoe has shut herself inside and rolled up all the windows.
I think we're done here.
Okay. Leave this here?
He lazily indicates the body bag on the ground.
Yeah, I guess so. We didn't need it after all.
Guess not.
Kojiro slaps his broad hands across his trousers, dusting them off. He cocks his neck to the side and stretches his limbs. I make an attempt to reach for the van's door, but Kojiro stops me.
Not curious about what happened?
There has to be more to this. There's no way. Like, even with Kotomi, I'm kind of like, did she really go on a killing spree because she was so desperate to get away? I don't know. There has to be more to this one, especially because Yuriko wouldn't just, like, suddenly, like, go on a rampage as well I don't even feel like the state of the house was explained that way, described that way.
Only a little. She's dead, though. Or dying. That's all that matters. Oh, actually, give me 1 second.
I quickly dart back inside the house. I weave across the room and duck behind the sofa once more. Yuriko is silent and unmoving. I do my best to push her body to the side with my skeletal arms. She budges an inch or two, and I find what I'm looking for, her phone buried between her ass and the carpet. I turn on the screen and find there's no fingerprint or passcode lock. The photo of Yuriko's corpse, the very same photo that I sent to her earlier, is still on the
I
screen.
guess she did receive the photo then. Maybe that's all it took this time. She must have been pretty freaked if she killed all the people here. This is like the Kotomi Ida situation all over again.
Yeah, apart from you didn't have a hand in it. Like, at all. She didn't text you back or anything. My voyeuristic tendencies flare up and I decide to look through the rest of her photos. I swipe across the screen just once and nearly jump out of my skin. Yuriko received a photo right before she received the one I sent. It arrived 10 minutes before my photo. It's another image of a corpse. Oh, stab Shuji at the party. Another photo depicting her death, but it's completely different than the one I crafted.
What the fuck?
Someone else sent Yuriko Kurosawa a photo of her own corpse only 10 minutes before I did. Yuriko received a corpse photo from somebody else. What is going on? I examined the photo in detail. It's well made, just like my own work. If I didn't know any better, it would be easy to assume that I made this. But what stands out the most is the writing on the bottom of the image. It simply says, stab Suji at the party. Stab Suji at the party. Who the hell is Suji? Is he here? Is he one of the dead bodies scattered around this accursed house? I quickly discard the thoughts about Suji. A more important question has come to my attention. Is someone else crafting corpse photos and sending them to people? Does Corpse Girl have a copycat? An imitator? But why target Yuriko? Why target somebody whose death was requested through Corpse Girl's website? I can't process this right now. It's already past midnight and I'm utterly exhausted. I shove Yuriko's phone into my handbag and get the hell out of the house. Today is not a suitable day to go to the office. Today is not a suitable day to wake up and shower. Today is not a suitable day to force those tiny pills down my throat. Today is a day to lay in bed and rest my face on the pillow caked with yesterday's makeup. I don't know what the time is. I don't really care. My phone has buzzed several times, but I simply don't have the energy to reach over and look at it. I want to just stay here and be warm and comfortable and not think about anything. I don't want to think about that house party last night, but I keep thinking about it. I don't want to think about finding Yuriko's body in that irritating, useless space between the sofa and the wall. I don't want to think about my sister's final words to me, those bitter syllables that she used all of her remaining strength to force between her blood-soaked lips. I don't want to think about the fact that I'd probably have said the same thing to her if I was in her position. I don't want to think about the possibility that someone else was responsible for Yuriko's death. It was supposed to be Corpse Girl. Me. I was supposed to be responsible for my sister's death. Somebody else caused her death. How dare they steal that from me? How dare they? A copycat, a nobody. The more I don't think about it, the more I find myself thinking about it. Think. Why would somebody copy Corpse Girl's methods? How would somebody copy Corpse Girl's methods? Corpse Girl is mine. Mine. Corpse Girl belongs to me. I'm not infamous enough yet to have an imposter. Surely, I'd be kidding myself with delusions of grandeur to think that I'd earned an imitator. But the fact remains that somebody sent Yuriko a corpse photo that was meticulously edited and just as convincing as anything I could make. And those instructions. Stab Shuji at the party. Stab Shuji. Did Yuriko do it? Did she pull a knife and slit Shuji's throat? What about the other people at the party lying cold on the floor? Did she kill them as well? Did Yuriko imitate Kotomi Ida's final moments and cut down a swath of people, all in an effort to spare her own life? And then, who turned the knife on Yuriko? Someone acting in self-defense? Did she kill them too? There are too many questions and not nearly enough answers to satisfy my hungry mind. In an effort to find a silver lining in the whole situation, I think about how Kochiro left the body bag at the party. Hopefully the police will discover the corpse and link Corpse Girl to the murder scene. Her name and website are written all over the HRP, after all. Everything might work out as long as Corpse Girl claims the credit for the death. I keep pressing the enter button too soon. As long as Corpse Girl claims the credit for the deaths, my popularity still has a chance of skyrocketing. My website will be inundated with new requests. Requests from people begging for me or Corpse Girl to kill on her behalf. Yes, last night's slaughter may actually be the best thing that could have happened. I'll happily steal the credit to propel Corpse Girl's name into the stars. I roll over and bite my pillow until it's soaked through with saliva and blood, and I scream until my lungs give out. He's not right with her. Right, I'll see you in the next one.